Hello and welcome to the first of the Saints AU interviews for AU President. We are here with our first candidate, Audrey Sherr today. Sorry, I don't mind blank. Audrey, first, how are you? How's the campaign been so far?
It's been pretty good. First day's been a little hectic. Yeah. Lots of hustings to do, lots of stuff like that, but been pretty alright. I've been happy with it so far.
Do you want to just start by just giving us a quick rundown of why you think you are the best candidate for this job?
I could go on and tell you all about the roles that I've had, being women's captain of fencing and co-president in the same year, leading them to a perfect season, all that great stuff. But more than that, why I really want to be AU president is, and why I think I'm the best candidate for the job, I have been there since day one, technically negative day 3, because I joined the fencing club in freshers week for my first year. I've seen a lot of the changes that have gone on the sports center with the new renovations and things like that, and I've seen different clubs take different shapes. My own experience, we were in the Premier League in my first year, we got knocked down, we're back up for promotion. We're a co-ed club, so I've had a lot of experience with that. I was in Saints Leaders, and beyond just the credentials, ticking all the bullet points, I have had quite a few experiences just beyond the little nitty-gritty of sport, like dealing with friends who have had personal issues in sport, and it's made me feel like I'm quite in tune to what's happening and what can happen behind the scenes, and I want to address that as well as we need to get better results, we need better performance access, we need to get more people to performance sport status. More than that, I feel like there's an underside of it that I'm quite in tune to as well from personal experiences and from getting with friends.
So obviously you referenced your role on the in the fencing club and on the committee beforehand. How do you think those kind of positions and those roles have equipped you to make the step up to AU president?
It's been interesting balancing 2 exec leadership roles at the same time, having to do the president side of it, needing to organize practices, organize matches, all that stuff, but also being the face of the team, getting the girls pumped up for an important match, making sure that everything's going all right on the second and the third team. I think what helps me towards the leadership side of it is I have just had all those experiences, and admittedly I've made some mistakes. I thought my idea was the best one and I went ahead with it when I should have listened more to people on my committee, and having had kind of a dry run, a test run in a big leadership role, I think has helped me go, oh, in this moment, if I reflect on it, I should listen to people who might have a similar idea, listen to people who have a different idea, and just having just done something like that, I think equips me to take the next step up.
So obviously you talked a lot about the impact that you've attempted to have on kind of the results-based side of things in terms of the fencing club, but obviously I'm sure you'll agree that being AU president also just involves a lot of nitty-gritty admin, a lot of tedious stuff that a lot of people just really aren't really set up to do. They're more about kind of the big showy stuff. Do you have any particular experiences which you think have enabled you to really just get down with the dirty side of it, sort of the unseen half of it, if you know what I mean, which is really most crucial, I'm sure you agree?
Last year we ran an alumni event that happened to unfortunately, alumni weekend typically coincides with something that happens on in the fencing calendar, just like the national fencing calendar, and we took the decision, rather than taking the hit of a lot of our alumni not coming, I asked them, could we possibly move our alumni event to a different weekend? We moved it to the following weekend. And it's quite funny, on our committee the joke is, oh, is the alumni officer even here? Because you drum along in the background, you're contacting alumni personally, you're booking events, you're booking resources, booking a location for the pub crawl, and then all of a sudden it just happens and no one really is paying attention to it. So for me, the satisfaction of knowing it was a job well done, knowing it went on during the day, I felt like I didn't need people's approval of oh, you did a good job, or I'm organizing that one thing. I'm content going on in the background and making sure, just knowing that it's going to make Saint Sport and whatever the event or situation is better as a whole is enough for me personally.
Okay, cool. So obviously you're well connected in the fencing club. Do you have many other links to the other sports clubs? I mean, obviously a big part of the AU president is being able to kind of liaise with various sports clubs and sort of try and keep everyone on side, keep everyone happy. My question is basically, do you think that you have the right kind of connections with various other sports, whether that be rugby or Quidditch or something. I don't know. I don't know the sort of the vast kind of spectrum of sports there are here. Do you think you could have, run a campaign and have a leadership style that could appeal to kind of all clubs?
It's quite funny that you say that, because something I say about myself is I'm very comfortable being bad at something, and I oftentimes will freaking love the sports fair in the beginning of the year, because I get to see all these clubs, and I each year have made a promise to myself, like, right, I'm going to try something new. Last year I was involved with sailing. I did it in high school, but I wasn't very good at it, so I didn't make the team, but I was still, I was a great experience because I understand clubs that have more of a social side as much as a performance side. Speaking to friends of mine in cross country and athletics, and going to a couple of their practices last year and this year, I like to get my feet wet in different sports, even if I know I'm going to be terrible at this. I still want to see what your sport is like in order to help my own, and just kind of see what the AU has to offer, because there's so many things that go on at the AU that just if you stay in one sport you're not going to know about. Like, for example, athletics and cross country are doing a merger. It makes sense to me. They both are like high intensity running sports, but it's quite interesting to hear from them and see a little bit at the practices, like where that's going to lead. And I know a lot of the clubs are also doing mergers like men's and women's, and just kind of dipping in and dipping out of like the practices, like not to interrupt or interfere, but just like see what the other sports have.
Obviously, I agree. It's right to get that kind of balance between not micromanaging, but then being able to let the other clubs.
I'm curious to know what their sport is and just try their sport, but I can't walk in and go, oh yes, I'm the captain of fencing, so I'm a transferable expert in this sport.
But I mean, would you say then that one of your main skills and one of your main advantages of in this candidacy role compared to the other candidate is that you have that kind of knowledge of a vast array of sports, and you have those links which you can
just even just knowing the people that are like on the current committees, just happening to know them by stopping by and seeing the practice. Like, I met the other day, completely accidentally, I met the wall officer for mountaineering, and it was like, oh, I see you guys because you practice at the same time as us, and it's just like, oh, can I come by and try a session? She's like, yeah, just let me know when you're gonna try, and like just see what they have. Because she was telling me a lot of an issue for us in fencing is we have occasional like a drop-off later in the semester, and she's like, we wait for the drop-off because they have 4 people certified to help people go up a wall, and then 80 people will show up for their session. So it's like interesting to see the differences and the difficulties and the challenges that face different sports clubs.
Okay, yeah, good. So would you argue then that sort of again, more of your another advantage is just that you want to kind of maybe increase interconnectedness, I suppose is the word. Is that something that you would say sets you aside from other candidates? Would you agree as well that was one of the decisions you decided to run for AU president? Was that an incentive that you had?
Yeah, I understood, particularly in my role, we have a group chat in fencing for like the former captains. If you have a question, you can like shoot them a message. It's in like a Facebook group. But one of the things that I felt like such a waste is every year it feels like these great ideas just disappear when people graduate. One of my key points on my manifesto was talking about communication and trying to find and like push ways of communicating between other sports, because for all you know, the secretary of trampoline could have a really great idea that could help the secretary of badminton, but they just would have no normal sense of interaction with each other. So I want to try and push to improve all of the sports, just to get people talking to each other.
And how do you think that kind of interconnectedness would look? Would you try and kind of, I don't know, establish more regular meetings between the various heads of different sports clubs? I think off the ball here, joint socials or something, I don't know, like, do you have any like concrete plans for that?
My initial idea for a concrete plan would be particularly for dealing with, dips a little bit into my idea about mental health. If someone's having an internal sports issue, like there's an issue of harassment on a team, there's an issue of like, an athlete has an eating disorder or anything like that, I would want to set up like for a challenges anonymized platform, like, help, I'm having an issue with a teammate that doesn't even have to be the people on the committee, like, just concerned people have access to it, and it would be anonymized so they can speak more freely and create probably like a Google platform or what was the one? I forget the name of it, but there's a program that we used at the committee's forum that's like you put an idea out there.
So a kind of forum.
Yeah, an online forum to express ideas, but then also have one for like suggestions that could be, hey, my name is Paul, and I am the captain of swimming, and I'm having a little bit of an issue organizing socials or getting more social people to come to socials. Would anyone like to do a paired social with us? And running a little bit more publicity, because I know some clubs have an issue of like, it drops off. Like if you do joint sessions between like some of the martial arts to get people like, this is the difference between Aikido and Kendo, or this is the difference between karate and Jiu-Jitsu, and getting sports that have like-mindedness, working together to increase the like numbers of the whole club would be quite a nice idea.
Yeah.
So probably, simply put, Google Forums, more Facebook groups, and more hands-on like meetups, because there are a couple of Facebook groups, like the alumni officers. When I was an alumni officer last year, we had a Facebook group, but it didn't really feel like there was much communication. But try and like set up face-to-face at first, and then use that as a follow-up.
Okay, and I suppose the last thing for me really, was there any kind of incident, a specific incident maybe that might have happened at any time over your kind of university career here that maybe inspired you to run for AU president? Any former AU presidents that particularly impressed you and inspired you to take it, or maybe performed badly that you kind of were incentivized to say, you know, I can step up and change things here?
I wouldn't go slandering my potential predecessor.
I'm a journalist, what am I saying? I've got to get a headline.
No, truthfully, my most formative year for me deciding to run for AU president probably came in my third year. I personally had an in-house issue of like harassment within my own team, which was quite a jolt to the system, and I felt like I did feel in many ways supported by the AU, but it just felt at the end of it, like there could be more there's more here, that there's more potential to help people like the university has, rather than, it's quite funny. I find when you go to student services, oftentimes their suggestion is, why don't you try a sport? What do you do if the issue in your life comes from a sport?
I want to address that issue.
Yeah, I want to address the issue that just being physically active is not the end-all be-all. There are there are issues that happen within a team that don't happen in a normal social setting. You can't just walk away from your teammate if you've got another match the next week, unless you want to completely walk away from the sport, which I don't think anyone should be forced to have that option. That, as well as in February of my third year, we went away to Bucks Nationals, and Tom Abbott was following us around and following around judo, and just his enthusiasm to find out about our sport, find out about how the sport runs, really was like, yeah, I think the AU president can be like this liaison, and just his message, and speaking more to Fiona this year when I was in a leadership role, and their willingness to communicate with us, being able to set from the groundwork, I want to communicate with you, I want to know your issues, I want to know your challenges, I want to know your successes in every sport, I think would be enormous help if I went in and started with that attitude. Come and talk to me. I'm here, shoot me a message, shoot me an email, and I just want to be there for the students.
Okay, so just in 30 seconds, really quickly, could you just say your first semester in the job, what would be your 3 main goals for AU president? What would you like to achieve?
Number 1, improving resources for in-house mental health for athletes. I think that needs to be number 1 priority, because mental health for university students is crap. Number 2 would be improving communication between the sports clubs, so no issues go unaddressed and no ideas are lost. And then probably number 3 would be, oh hello.
Trying to kick us out. Here we go.
Number 3 would be improve transparency between my role as the AU president, the role of the Department of Sport, and the clubs themselves. So people, if they come out with a goal, there's not this ambiguous, oh, we'll see how that works. There needs to be clear set out plans to how to get you from point A to point B.
Audrey, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Best of luck with the rest of your campaign.
Thank you very much.